Oh, it is Thanksgiving Day, Brant. We wait for this all year long. As fat guys, we get super excited for some turkey festivities, if you will. And it's just made even better by the fact that we also have NFL football on as well. So, Brant, how are you feeling on this Thanksgiving Day, my friend?
I'm feeling phenomenal. Excited to get some food cooking, and get to eating already. These football games may be a little rough to watch, but there is football on, so you got to look at the bright side of everything. It's going to be a good day. Thanksgiving's always a good day. Arguing with families every once in a while. Then you gotta, enjoy the food and the rest of the day with them. But it's always look forward to Thanksgiving every year, especially being a fat guy.
Yeah, and it's interesting. This you talk about today's slate and saying it may be some rough football. Even the game that I think everybody's going to take that after lunch nap on, that Giants Cowboys, really should be a good football game because these teams are pretty evenly matched. No Daniel Jones, no Dak Prescott, no running game for the Cowboys, and no passing game for the Giants. It should be pretty interesting to see how that shakes out. So the rest of them, though, there's some overlap, Brant. I actually went, first thing I did after I wrote down the schedule for this week was I went back and looked at last year's games, and we have a crossover. And every game this week, we have a team that played last year. We've got the Lions that play every year on Thanksgiving, obviously. The Cowboys that play every year on Thanksgiving. And the Packers are playing this year on that Thursday night game. They played against the Lions last year. So I got some stats from last year, some guys that went absolutely ballistic last year. Jared Goff threw 44 passes on Thanksgiving Day last year in a loss to the Packers, Brant. Completed 29 of those, 332 yards, 2 touchdowns. Main recipient of that was Sam Laporta, 9 for 95 yards, no touchdown for him last year. And then Laporta was the big touchdown recipient, 5 for 47 and a touchdown. Then on the ground, you had Monty and Gibbs doing their normal thing. Monty did get the better of it last year. Cowboys, the only highlight I really could bring up was CeeDee Lamb, 4 for 53 and a touchdown. Dak Prescott went ballistic in that game last year, not playing, obviously, this year. And then for the Packers, Jordan Love had probably the best game out of everybody, Brant. 32 passing attempts, 22 completions, 268 yards, 3 touchdowns. Main recipient of that was Christian Watson, 594 and a touchdown. Reed also had a touchdown, plus 34 yards of receiving. And then Tucker Kraft had a touchdown with 15 yards as well. So some overlap, and some of those guys could be, again, this year, Brant, the big winners for Thanksgiving and fantasy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna, that's one of the people I'm going to talk about later in our underdog picks of the week. Is a guy that for the last 2 years has gone well over his line today. And the last 2 years he's gone over it. So that's Amon-Ra St. Brown. I absolutely love his receiving line today. I'll talk a little more about it later on when we get into the underdog and everything. But yeah, the Lions are always on Thanksgiving, and so it will be interesting to see what they do to Chicago and that dismantled team that just looks like they're cruising to try to get a top pick again. So it'll be interesting to see.
I think I did read someplace the last time the Lions started out as hot as they have this year, the Bears actually beat them on Thanksgiving Day that year. So be interesting to see if history repeats itself, Brant. But got our first question rolling in, Tony. He says, first of all, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I don't think I said that at the top of the show. I get a little excited when it comes to a full day of eating and shoving food down my gullet. But Tony says he has Bijan and CMC in now, but he's really considering benching CMC. But if I do that, it's either Tyrone Tracy Jr. or Ramondre Stevenson. So obviously Tracy's against the Cowboys today, Brant, and then Stevenson has the Colts on Sunday morning. Are you in favor of either of those two over CMC?
No, because if Purdy misses again, they have to run that offense through CMC in Buffalo. I believe there's a snowstorm coming, so CMC is going to have to see the ball rushing and short yardage situations. I'm not sure Brock Purdy's situation. I do need to look into that here in just a second. But
he only threw one pass in the media portion of practice yesterday. That okay. I'll look that up while you're.
But there's supposed to be some bad weather rolling through Buffalo, so I expect them to lean on CMC and lean on that run even more. Short dump off passes, even if Purdy is in. I just can't. I can't bench CMC for either one of those. The front seven ish for the Giants are decent. I do say ish because there's some question marks there. Um, I'm sorry for the Cowboys. The rush defense is decent for the Cowboys. It's not great by any means. But I think that they're going to really focus in on slowing down that run, especially with the third quarterback of the season starting for the Lions.
Yeah, or for the Giants, not the Lions. Yeah, I think Drew Lock ends up starting. I think Tommy DeVito is a long shot, is the last I've heard. But I mean, I don't know. It's yeah, that's not great. I do have Tracy in my underdog plays that I'll talk about later. I expect him to get a decent workload, Brant, but I don't think it's enough that I could ever be confident or comfortable sitting CMC in favor of him. So I think I stay Bijan, I stay CMC. Those guys are both weak winners on their own. I don't think I'd get too crazy and mess with that.
Okay. Selena, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for joining us. Ask Cooper Rush or Cousins. I think I go with Cousins here.
It's
one of the higher scoring games of the week. Excuse me. Should be a good game too down there in Atlanta. I think it's a 1-point spread right now, so it should be a close game. So I expect that to be a very, very good game, and Cousins to be the beneficiary of keeping it close.
Yeah, I like Kirk Cousins as well. Listen, Cooper Rush just has been a little lackluster this year. Did have that touchdown toss to Jalen Tolbert. I think he threw like 250 yards last week. Not to say he can't do that today, but if I'm picking between the two, I'm going with the guy who's been consistent all year. I'll take Kirk Cousins. Coming off a bye week, I look for Atlanta to put some points up this weekend.
Okay.
Tony says Goff today versus the Bears or Lamar versus Philly Sunday.
I think I go with Lamar. The upside is too good. I know Goff's been phenomenal and has tossed so much lately. But I think I have to go with Lamar and the rush upside against Philly, especially with the way that Philly's secondary is starting to play. That they're doing pretty good against the receivers lately, so they may lean on Lamar to rush a little bit more.
The implied point total for both of these teams is pretty darn similar. If you look at what Vegas has the line for the Lions and Bears today at 47.5, favoring the Lions by 9.5 points. Whereas the Ravens point total is 50.5, favored by 3. So pretty similar point wise between the two teams here. I actually think Goff is probably the higher ceiling out of the two, based on their arm. Obviously, when you factor in the legs, but I don't expect a whole lot of running against that Philly defense. They're pretty athletic. I actually think I go Goff on that one.
Okay. All right. Betsy, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Betsy. Thank you for joining us this morning. How are we feeling about Pacheco? Been holding on to him all year. I too as well have been holding on to Pacheco a lot. I'm going to rest him this week. One more week. I want to see what that backfield looks like. I know it's the Raiders, so they may ease him in, even with it being the Raiders. I don't think this game is even near close tomorrow. But I think I'm going to leave Pacheco out one more week. You've done so far without him. Now, if you have to start him, I'd like to see the other options. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave him down one more week.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt's been serviceable. The Chiefs are 10-1, 9-1, whatever they happen to be. Going into this week, they're in no desperation to rush Pacheco back. I do think he gets a little run this week, but I think Pacheco's the kind of guy they're going to want for the playoffs. I think they're going to be pretty ginger with him the rest of the year. So I would definitely personally wait just to see what that usage looks like between him and Kareem Hunt before I get going. Mahomes is turning it on in the passing game a little bit too, which worries me for the running back. So I think this week I'd hold him, but he's definitely been that's a guy I would want to keep on my roster for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, Bill says Goff or Stroud, Darnold or Purdy, and then he follows it up with, you think Taysom Hill will have a better day than Disley or Kraft? So let's start with the Goff or Stroud conversation there, Brant. I know where I stand. I'd like to hear where you are.
Houston has Jacksonville. I'm standing on Goff right here. He's been too good. So I think I go with Goff here.
Yeah, Stroud's had a pretty disappointing season this year too. Definitely a little sophomore slump. I think he ends up coming out of that next year or later this year. But between the two, I definitely would rather have Goff. Goff's almost playing at an MVP level if it wasn't for some of the games that Lamar's put up. So I got to go Goff there. As far as the second one, Darnold or Purdy, the Vikings have the Cardinals. I go with the indoor. Yeah, the indoor game.
Yeah, especially if that weather is going to be as bad as it looked the other day. Like I said, as we get closer, I'll be looking closer at it. Sunday, I'll have hopefully have better update of the weather. But yeah, I definitely am going to go with Darnold here.
Right, and then Taysom Hill better than Disley or Kraft. It's like this. The game's the second highest implied total from Vegas. Very tight spread against the Rams Sunday afternoon. I think there's a chance Taysom Hill could have a really, really good game, but past practice shows us he's going to disappear on us again. Disley's questionable, got put on the late injury report yesterday. I don't think I roll Kraft today. So I think it'd be down to Disley or Hill for me. If Disley's healthy, I think he's my guy right now, just because of how much Herbert looks his way. But Taysom Hill could be really good. I don't know, Brent. What do you think?
I'm going to start Disley. Disley's looked too good lately. Herbert's looking his way quite a bit. So I'm going to go with Will Disley. Taysom, you just have to be okay with Taysom blowing up if he's on your bench. Unless you have to start him.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Pops. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I'll see you here in just a little bit as you come over and watch the football later. And I guess I'll share my food with you too. He asked Kraft or McBride. Let's hear your take on this because this may be just
McBride.
Okay. So I read something a little earlier this morning, and it says McBride is Kyler Murray's safety binky. So McBride does not come out of my lineup as long as Kyler is starting at quarterback. He looks for him anytime he's in desperation. So I think you have to go McBride.
Yeah, I read that article this week as well. Kyler, anytime a play breaks down. First of all, I think McBride's pretty much the first read on every drop back anyway. But when a play breaks down, that's exactly where his eyes go. Where's 85 at? He gets that ball out to him. He had like 12 receptions this week. Just a crazy week. Yeah, he's in my lineup the rest of the season.
Yep.
Frank says, "Happy Turkey Day, guys. Happy Turkey Day to you as well, Frank. Could I really bench Herbert against Atlanta? Goff versus Bears seems a bit tougher matchup." I'm going Herbert. I think I'm
going Goff. Goff has been kind of matchup proof. Goff, I don't think Goff's had a bad game this year at all. I'm looking it up real fast.
I'm sure there's one or two in there.
I know this matchup seems scary on tape, but he's had a few, but I mean, he's QB. He's only QB 12. Wow.
Herbert's 14, so it's closer than we think.
Yeah.
I mean, Herbert's coming off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Herbert's coming off of 5 weeks in a row of quarterback one performances. So I still think I go Herbert here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to lean Herbert too. I didn't realize Herbert had been that good this year.
You know what's really been going in his favor in those weeks too, Brant, is 49, 32, 65, 29 yards rushing for Herbert in those contests as well. Yeah, I go Herbert. Especially against Atlanta. I do.
Yep, give me Herbert in this one. That's a little tougher than I was thinking, but yeah, give me Herbert. Joe, happy Thanksgiving, Joe. Ask Malik Neighbors or Devontae Adams PPR. I'm going with Malik Neighbors. They came out. He showed his frustration. Brian, the coaching staff talked about getting the ball in his hand. So I think I'm going to go with Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the difference in the Giants season when they were having a little offensive success at the beginning of the season, they were peppering him with targets, getting him the ball in his hands in space, letting him do stuff. And then, when he comes out openly in the media and says, when I don't get the ball until we're down 30 points, what do you want me to do about it? It really definitely turns a deeper spotlight on Brian Daboll, who I think is probably fired at the end of the season anyway. But I think if you want to show that, hey, quarterback's been the issue this year, not me, you get the ball into Malik Neighbors' hands early, often, over and over and over again.
Absolutely.
Mike says, man, I just don't know who to start, Nico or Garrett Wilson.
I'm going with Garrett Wilson.
It feels an awful lot like Garrett Wilson to me, too.
Yeah, I think I have to go with Garrett Wilson here. I know Nico has a good matchup against the Jag secondary, but, man, let's see. They're coming off a bye, too, are they not? Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the Jets coming off a bye and a get-right spot, I hate that it's against the Seahawks, but Seattle's flying all the way out there. I see this as being a get-right game for the Jets and just hope that Seattle can hang out in there. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Garrett.
Coming off of a bye week, he's still wide receiver 6 on the season. So, yeah. It's Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. Selena says, can only keep one, Hopkins, Jameson Williams, or Cooper. I'm assuming that's Amari Cooper. I'm going to go with Hopkins here.
Only keep one. Give me Amari Cooper. Listen, Hopkins, yeah, he had a touchdown last week, but it's been Noah Gray the last 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. He's been the guy. Kelsey's still getting a lot of targets as well. Jameson Williams is kind of afterthought for me. He's probably like 5 or 6 in the pecking order in total of get the ball in his hands in Detroit, behind the running backs, behind Laporta, behind St. Brown. So it does come down to Hopkins, Cooper. There's not a clear one in that Buffalo offense. I do think Cooper ends up being that guy, especially in time for the playoffs, fantasy playoffs, that is. So I think I keep Cooper there.
Okay.
Betsy says, JK, Javonte, Chase, Brown, James Cook, receivers are Puka, Terry, Mooney, Metcalf, and Debo. That's in her response to you asking the rest of her running backs and holding Pacheco.
Okay. I think maybe I start. Denver has Cleveland. Maybe I consider Pacheco over Williams because I don't think JK is playing this week.
There's no way Javonte's in our lineup with Chase Brown and James Cook. Those are must starts. Yeah. And I'm assuming Puka, Terry, Metcalf are all in the lineup, I would assume. So, yeah, there's no way she's playing 3 running backs. Yeah. Debo's on the bench, especially in a snow game.
Yep. See, Dickie, should I start Dallas defense with Tracy at running back or Giants defense? I'm going with the Dallas defense because you're not sure who their quarterback is. I actually went and streamed them in a few leagues as well. I think they're going to get after the quarterback, but I'm going to go with Dallas defense.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I like Dallas this week.
I'm going to contradict that here in just a little bit, though, when we talk about something else here in just a little bit.
I am not when we talk about something in a little bit. Jennifer says, Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, Jennifer. She says 2 questions here. Hunt or Bigsby for running back, and then Devontae or Pollard is the other part. So Hunt or Bigsby, Brant?
I go Kareem Hunt.
I agree.
I think I have to go with Kareem Hunt. I don't know. I don't know what Bigsby's status is going to be. So, yeah, I think I go with Kareem Hunt.
I agree. Second part, Devontae Adams or Tony Pollard. How do you feel there?
I think I go with Adams. I know Tony's coming off. Who does Tennessee have? The
Commanders.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Adams here.
Okay, I agree. I agree with both those, Hunt and Adams.
Okay. All right. So Frank says T. Higgins, D. Hop, Jacoby Myers, or Rico Dowdle. Pick one. Man, that's a tough matchup for T. Jacoby's about the only thing outside of Bowers that is good on that offense. I hung my hat on D Hop, and he was a disappointment until he found the end zone.
I'm going Jacoby Myers on this one.
I think I am too. I really do. I think I'm going to go with Jacoby here.
Yep. Frank follows it up with D-Hop, MVS, or Devon Vele. He says he needs one there as well.
I think I go with MVS. Nothing else catching the ball. I know he's probably going to disappear this week, and I'm going to be apologizing out my butt for this, but I think I go with MVS.
I think I kind of like Devon Vele. He's been kind of been the go-to target for Bo Nix here. I know Cortland Sutton had a really good week last week too, but man, Vele looks really good for a 26-year-old rookie. MVS is just doing it all on like 3 targets a game. How long does that keep up? I'm going with the guy who's seeing the most targets out of 3. Give me Vele.
Okay. Ryan says, Monty, Kenneth Walker, James Conner. I go with Monty in a revenge game. He's going to find the end zone today. I think I go with Monty. God, it's so hard to bench Conner, but
I like Monty in a revenge game as well.
Yeah, I think I have to go with him.
Yep. Blurpy says, Swift, Chubb, or ETN. I'm starting Keenan Allen, so I hate starting 2 Bears players. I don't like Swift much anyway, to be honest. So
I don't like starting any Bears players right now. But
Allen's coming off of a massive week.
Yeah. What is Bigsby's status this week? I should probably know this since, I am starting ETN, I think, in our league.
I'm leaning Chubb, but that Broncos defense is so good. I think I go Chubb, Brant.
Practice is full. I do too, because you're not sure what the split's going to be between ETN. So, yeah, I think I go with Chubb as well.
Okay.
Elliot says, Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Start Love or Goff? I go with Love. I'm going to start Love. I know he's going to throw an interception because he does every single game, but I think I'm going to start Love.
And I think I go Goff here. The Vegas is saying the Lions are going to be the team that scores the most points today on Thanksgiving. I think I'm planting that Goff flag. I think Goff puts up the best quarterback numbers out of anybody today.
Okay.
All right. Tony says Jaden Reed today or roll with Cup, Evans, or in McConkey Sunday.
I'm rolling with Cup, Evans, and McConkey. I'm not sure which receiver is going to blow up.
I don't see Reed getting in my lineup over those 3.
Oh, Jared asked, pick 2, Jennings, Evans, McLaurin, or Addison to start at wide receiver. If I knew Purdy was actually going to play, I think I'd have to put Jennings in. But Evans and Evans and McLaurin, I think.
Yeah, it's not that hard of a thought for me. It's Evans and Scary Terry.
Okay.
Elliot says also, is running back Cook a worry that a huge snowstorm coming? No, I think that's better for James Cook, honestly.
Yeah, I think he's probably, if the snow is as bad as it looks, you may see him bobble the ball a little bit, but I still think that this is a great spot for him. Bill says Tracy or Connor. I go with James Conner. I just don't trust the Giants at all right now.
I'm good with James Conner there.
Okay.
Bill comes back with a more important question: mashed potatoes or mashed potatoes with gravy?
I got to put gravy. I think I put gravy on almost everything on my plate whenever it's Thanksgiving. So I'm going to go with the gravy.
The answer to this question is simply put, yes. Yes. I'll eat mashed potatoes here, there, everywhere, with gravy, without gravy. Yes. I genuinely, what I think I do typically, Brant, I think on Thanksgiving Day it's without, but later in the week, as I'm still getting through those leftovers, I think it's with to help it, get it down a little bit as it starts to dry out. But I think I'm good either way there.
Okay. All right. So Frank comes back with his league offers a big bonus for 40, 50-yard touchdowns and double for those TDs. That is in relation to, I'm assuming, the MVS question.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything for me. Yeah, I said
MVS, so I think I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything for me. MVS could be a flash in the pan, so.
Blurpy came back and did say Bigsby's going to play. Thank you for giving me that heads up on that one. It's always nice when you guys catch me on that. And then comes back with Mahomes or Lamar. Mahomes has been pretty good lately.
He's tearing it up the last couple of weeks. Coin flip. I'm cool either way.
I'm cool either way, but I'm going to go with Lamar just for the higher point total.
Dicky says, can I trust Josh Allen in a snowstorm?
If
I'd want to know what the other option is.
Yeah, I'd have to see the other option, but I don't think you could bench him.
If it's another top end option, I think I could be swayed to potentially sit Josh Allen this week, just because if that weather is as bad as it sounds like it's going to be, how much throwing's he going to do? I know the rushing upside, but if there's a chance I've got a quarterback that could throw for 3.
All right, Blurpy comes back with Tyreek, Keenan Allen, Devontae Adams, Jacoby, and Debo. Pick 4.
So you're just leaving one out, essentially.
I think I'm leaving Debo out.
Yeah, I agree. Debo is he's not looked good the last couple of weeks. The chance of no Purdy, and then you add in the fact that there could be a snowstorm. CMC, Jennings, Kittle have all been much more looked at options. I'm leaving Debo out until Debo starts showing something.
Okay.
Ryan says Jordan Love or Kyler Murray.
I think I'm going to go with Jordan Love. I like
agree.
the matchup today. I think I'm going to go with Love.
I agree.
Joe says, here's a fun one. Pick 2. Kana, Chuba, Walker, Kamara, or Breeze.
Pretty certain Breeze is expected to miss this week, isn't he?
I think it's definitely up in the air. I went out on a panic and picked up Allen in one of our short bench leagues.
Jeff Albrecht's hopeful that Hall will play Sunday against the Seahawks, but the Jets plan to take a wait-and-see approach. tweaked his knee. Knees scare the crap out of me with running backs.
And Carolina has Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm. Kamara is not coming out of my lineup. I'm going to put Kamara as my guaranteed with the lack of weapons in New Orleans. I think Kamara is still a big factor in that offense. Kamara is a lock for me.
And prior to last week, any running back playing Seattle was a lock, but that defense showed out. And I don't know if maybe that was, them getting their butts chewed during the bye week and figuring their lives out, or if it was just a bad week for Connor. Man, this is tough.
I think I'm out on Breeze this week anyway with the knee injury. So I think I'm gonna go Kamara, and I think I'm gonna go with Walker.
I think I'm gonna go Kamara, and I think I'm gonna go Chuba. I think I am. I think I'm gonna stick with Chuba against the Bucs.
Okay.
Yep. Troy says happy Thanksgiving. Oh, go ahead.
Troy says happy Thanksgiving, guys. Quick one, Knicks or Mayfield. I think Denver weather may be a factor. Happy Thanksgiving, Troy, first of all. And Sunday night or Monday night versus Sunday afternoon. I don't think Bo Nix worries me all that much with the weather, but I think you're okay to go Baker if Nix potentially scares you. Baker's having a pretty darn good year too and has Evans healthy second week back. I think I like Baker a lot this week too, but I think Nix is also just fine.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I do like Baker this week against Carolina. Carolina's been, staying in games and making quarterbacks continue to throw the ball throughout the game. So I do like either one this week.
Okay. So we're unanimous on that one there.
Jennifer says Rico, JSN, or DJ Moore. She also wanted to compliment. Thanks for the JSN recommendation last week. I don't think JSN. I think it's JSN again this week.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Yeah,
I think he's starting to really solidify himself.
It's JSN rest of season is honestly what it is. He's definitely earned a spot in that lineup the rest of the year. He's too darn good right now. Kevin says, is Cowboys D startable today? Yes, they are. Simply put, yes.
I went out and picked him up. I like him this week. Kyle says, pick one, two, or Love. I'm going with Love here. I'm planting my flag on Love, so you probably should go opposite of me if it's anything like last week, but I think it'll be Love.
I like Love in that one as well.
Okay.
Jennifer says, Waddle, Taysom Hill, Shoemaker, Gus Bus, Adam Thielen, Rashad White, Darnell Mooney, pick two.
I'm going to go with Waddle.
One good game of Waddle's enough to get you to instant like that, huh? I'm nervous on him still.
I think it's getting back, so I'm going to go with Waddle, and I'm going to go with Gus. No J.K. Dobbins. I think I'm going to go with Gus.
I like Gus Edwards too. I am leery that Gus Edwards, Hassan Haskins, and Kamani Vidal will all have like equal parts of a role here. So I think I'm a little nervous there. I got to go Darnell Mooney, Brant. Darnell Mooney's been too good. I think he's another one that's in my lineup every week if he's healthy. I like Shoemaker again this week with no Ferguson. Jennifer, this one's tough. I could rationalize every one of these guys going into my lineup this week, with the exception of Adam Thielen. I'm not crazy about him still this season, but the rest of these guys I could rationalize in my brain putting in any one of these guys. So if you have a strong feeling about one versus the other, I'd start those. I'm going to go Darnell Mooney, and I think I'm going to go I go Shoemaker and Mooney if it's me personally, but I think I could get myself on board with any of these, like I said, with the exception of Thielen.
Okay. Josh comes back with Hawkinson or Taysom. We'll start with that one first.
Hawkinson for me.
Yeah, I think I go with Hawkinson as well. And then you come back with Geno or Cousins. I think I go with Geno here.
That's Kirk Cousins for me.
Okay. All right.
Last time we had this question posed to us, Brant, we both came out and said it's Geno if DK plays, but DK did not play, so we said it was Cousins. Cousins come out and lit the world on fire that week, and Geno was awful. If that's any indicator of getting this question on a weekly basis, I want Kirk Cousins.
Okay. All right. I'm still sticking with Geno here.
Kyle says he smashed that like button. Kyle, we definitely appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Kevin says, happy Thanksgiving, boys. Is Jonathan Brooks going to have fantasy production in these last 5 weeks? I don't think he will. I think they're going to ease him in. I picked him up and I drafted him in Dynasty and thought it was a phenomenal pick at the time in our rookie draft. And now I'm starting to consider, was it a great pick because they re-signed Chuba and I don't think it's going to be this year if Brooks breaks out.
First of all, I will say this too. This year's running back class was not a great class for running backs and rookie fantasy drafts. I think there's going to be some wait and sees on Brooks, on Benson, Audric Estime, some of these other guys as we get Braylon Allen, as we get rolling through the future. So I will say this, Kevin, and I think this is kind of where I'm at with this. I think Brooks will have some role rest of season. I think it'll be a very small role. This is 100% Chuba's backfield, but I do think Brooks will get in and spell Chuba occasionally to give Chuba some breaks. Nothing fantasy relevant coming out of Brooks. I mean, maybe the random touchdowns, kind of like a Roshan Johnson, if you will, getting in, finding the end zone, but you can't start that production. So unless Chuba gets hurt, Brooks is not in my starting lineup.
Okay.
Patrick asked Chiefs or Cowboys defense.
I'm going with the Chiefs. Aiden O'Connell starting. Neither running back, I think, is playing. So I think I'm going to go with the Chiefs here.
Yeah, I agree.
Ryan says pick one. Kenneth Walker or Rashad White if Breece Hall does not go. I think I go with Walker here if Breece Hall does not go.
I agree.
And that will actually lead me in. I'm going to take this one real fast. Cole thinks, do you think DK will be all right to play this week? I don't. I think Sauce is going to shadow him all over the field. I think it's going to be a rough play. For DK, I still think he'll get his targets, but what he does with them is going to be tough with this week with Sauce probably shadowing him all over the field.
Sauce doesn't typically follow. He kind of stays on one side or the other. So it'll be up to Ryan Grubb to design some ways for DK to get away from him. The one person I will say that Sauce is not going to shadow is JSN. He doesn't typically line up in the slot. So I think it's still a JSN week. I could see a healthy dose of Tyler Lockett too this week, who just seems to find some space. I'm fading DK a little bit this week myself, so he'll probably go for 2 touchdowns. Patrick says, drop Corum or Ray Davis to stash Noah Gray. I have Laporta. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I think I would. Either one.
Yeah. Kevin says that I got to bring it up. He says laugh my off. No bias picks between Geno and Cousins. Listen, the last time this question was posed, I said it's Geno Smith as long as DK plays. But then Kirk proved me wrong that day. Kirk came out and lit the world on fire. So I'm rolling with Kirk Cousins rest of season between those two.
Okay, absolutely. I'm sticking with Geno. He's still slinging the ball out there, and I think this game's going to be extremely close, extremely competitive. So I think I'm still rolling with Chino this week.
I mean, yeah, you're not going to get either one of us to change that probably. So it is what it is.
So he does agree with your comparison with Brooks and Roshan Johnson.
Which, hey, I want to say I'm Roshan. I'm in dynasty leagues. Roshan's staying on my. I'm not getting rid of him. So because I do think there's an opportunity in the future. Same with Brooks. I think it could be a year, maybe a year and a half from now, but I think he gets a role at some point. So definitely not getting rid of him. All right, Brant, we got some time in between questions. Let's do these underdog promos, and then we'll see where we're at with questions afterwards.
Absolutely.
All right, Brant, walk me through your underdog plays of the week.
All right, I'm going with. This is just for today. We'll have more on Sundays when you guys on Sunday when you join us. My first one is Amon-Ra St. Brown, higher than 69.5 receiving yards. He's done this in the last 2 years on Thanksgiving. He had 95 last year, and I think he had 112, or he had over 100 the year before. I'm going to go with St. Brown. He always seems to have a good game on Thanksgiving, so I'm going to go with St. Brown. And then I'm going to go with Jonnu Smith to go higher than 44.5 receiving yards. He's done this in 6 of the last 7. Miami plays the most zone defense. He's been one of the most targeted against zone defenses for the Dolphins. So I think he'll go higher than 44.5 receiving yards. I'm going to go with Malik Neighbors higher than 65.5 receiving yards. Locke should be starting, but now it looks like DeVito may try to start. I still think they force feed the ball to him. So I think he's going to go higher than 65.5 receiving yards. Then I'm going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs higher. It's 18.5 now. I got it at 17.5. Higher than 18.5 for his longest rush today. Higher than 18.5 yards for the longest rush today. And then my last one, Roma Dunze to go higher than 3.5 receiving receptions. He's over this in 3 out of the last 4 games. He's been targeted 10 times in the last 2 games, and they're 9.5-point dogs, so I expect them to have to throw quite a bit.
This just in, Roma Dunze is Brant's new my guy. I actually took 2 from each one of these games. I took 2 from each one of these games. They just did a redraft of the first round. They took it. Roma Dunze would now be the last wide receiver drafted in the first round out of everybody who went. Just saying. I've got Jared Goff to go higher than 1.5 touchdowns. If history repeats itself, he'll throw 2, have a good game this week. I've got Cole Kmet to have higher than 32.5 receiving yards. He got bounced back last week. Him and Caleb Williams have had a connection all year. There was just a couple missing games in the middle. I've got the only piece of the Cowboys offense that I've trust to go higher than 68.5 receiving yards today. That is CeeDee Lamb. I guess I should be careful I say that. I do trust Shoemaker as well. Got Tyrone Tracy to have higher than 14.5 rushing attempts. You think they go through Malik Neighbors in the air? I think they have to get back to running the ball to set up some of those passes. I think Tracy's going to have to be utilized this week. Got Jordan Love higher than 20.5 completions. I look for him to just kind of take control of this contest, completing these easy passes and just marching the ball down the field several times. And then last but not least, I've got Tyreek Hill to go over 62.5 receiving yards. I look for him to potentially do that in one play today, Brant.
Okay. Wow. All right. Absolutely. I got a couple questions rolling in here. All right, there we go. Jess says, "Hey boys, I'm hearing Breeze is dealing with knee issues. Should I pick up Allen quickly?" Yes, you should have Allen, and you should probably stash Allen the rest of the year with you owning Breeze Hall.
Absolutely. Charlie says, don't know if you guys answered this or not already, but Jordan Love or Tua tonight. Yeah, we did. We both are on the Jordan Love side.
Yeah, absolutely. Mo says pick 2 PPR. Tyreek, Tracy, DJ Moore, Jaden Reed, JMO, MVS, or Mooney. I'm going with Tyreek, and I think I go with MVS. I think I go with Tyreek and MVS.
It's Tyreek is the guaranteed for me, and then it comes down to DJ Moore or Darnell Mooney, whichever one you trust more. I think I wouldn't want my entire bulk of my lineup going today, so I think I would go Tyreek and Darnell Mooney. I think Darnell Mooney is going to have to be a big part of this Falcons offense bouncing back after the bye week. I look for him to be heavily utilized this week, but I could also make the argument for DJ Moore to be in the lineup. Oops, excuse me, skipped a question here. Full point PPR. George asked, Jonnu Smith or Taysom Hill is for the first part. So which one of these two do you prefer?
I'm going with Jonnu Smith.
I agree. I like Jonnu Smith.
He's been great for Miami.
And then he says, flex Tyrone Tracy, Juwan Jennings, or Jalen Waddle.
I think I go with Waddle.
Typically, Brant, my rule of thumb when I'm setting a fantasy lineup, I look at this flex play. And I typically, out of my flex play, I want my fireworks because I usually have the better, safer plays in the lineup. So I will go Waddle. If I wanted safety, though, it's Tyrone Tracy. I think he has a respectful week this week. Waddle could definitely put some fireworks up there, though.
Drop Tillman for Allen, and with the previous question, I do because I think Tillman's actually out this week, so you should be able to get him back, or at least take a shot at getting him back. I think I would, especially for this week.
I don't think I want to lose Tillman. You got to have Allen for this week because if you don't get him this week, you may never get him. But I'd have to drop somebody else. I think Tillman's too good. When he does play, I'd want him on my lineup. I don't want to lose him. So I'd like to see somebody else if there's other options. If you're carrying 2 quarterbacks past the bye week, 2 defenses past buys, something like that, maybe I'd rather do than dropping Tillman. I think he's too serviceable when he's healthy.
Okay, absolutely.
Cole says Jaden Reed or Gus Edwards in PPR. Says have a great Thanksgiving. You as well, Cole, on that second part. As far as the first part, Brent, where are you at with Reed versus Gus?
I'm always on the Reed wagon, but I think I'm going to go with Gus. Without J.K. Dobbins, I think I have to go with Gus.
So damn disappointed in you. You're always on the Reed wagon, but you didn't say you're on the Gus bus this week. So disappointed in that. You dropped the ball hardcore.
Missed opportunity.
Seeking applications for a new co-host after missing that one. Yeah, I think I agree with you here, Brant. I think the hard thing is the minute you go to predict who's going to be their leading wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers, it's somebody else. Romeo Doubs is out this week. So I think Jaden Reed's probably a safe play. But Gus Edwards could be have a lion's share of that carries against a pretty suspect run defense in the Atlanta Falcons. So I think I do lean Gus as well.
Okay. Matt asked, Devontae Adams or Jennings? For the first part, I think I go with Adams here. Jennings in that rough weather, not sure who the QB is going to be, so I think I go with Adams.
Yeah, I'll go Adams.
So Otten, Laporta, or Hunter Henry? Hunter Henry has a very, very good matchup this week against Indy. I think I go with Henry.
I can't go away from Otten, I don't think. With Godwin still out, I still expect Otten to get a decent amount of targets. So I like Otten in this one personally. So it says his other option is Olave, as we don't have the IR spot. So let me talk about that really quick. new interim head coach Darren Rizzi said Olave has not ruled out for the rest of the season, but Sleeper doesn't have him getting projections until week 15. So in the semifinals of your playoff matchups or the first round of your playoff matchups, are you trusting that to start, Brant? I don't know if I am.
Especially if they have nothing to play for. Like, are they still in the division hunt?
Yes, the division's still the division's as open as the NFC West is. All the teams kind of have a chance right now, except for Carolina. I think they're too far behind, but yeah, there's a chance.
Okay, well,
I guess I probably lean Tillman over Olave to drop. I guess, but Olave really wasn't good when he was healthy.
Right? Yeah, it's tough, but I think I would lean Tillman still.
Okay.
He came back. Another question was Tua or Baker at the bottom of there.
I did miss that. You're right.
Yeah. This is tough because I expect this matchup between Miami and Green Bay to be back and forth battle. I think I go with Tua here.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
This is one of those. I think both of these guys would be low end quarterback ones this week. I'm okay with either one. I will say this: my projection was Tyreek Hill to have a pretty good game this week. If that happens, that means Tua has a good game. So I'll go Tua.
There you go. Absolutely. Back nine train says Ladd, White, Pollard, Edwards, Neighbors. Pick 2. Half-point PPR. I think I lean Ladd and Neighbors for my pick 2.
I like Ladd and Neighbors. Yeah, I like Ladd and Neighbors. All right, Brant, who's scoring touchdowns? And let's start with this. Did you pick a touchdown score for each game today?
I didn't because I couldn't find anybody that I liked in the middle game to score a touchdown.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do this. So who you got scoring your touchdowns? Go through that, and then we'll do the other part in a minute.
I've got Gibbs and Monty in the first game. I think both running backs find the end zone against the Chicago Bears. And then Jacobs and Tyreek Hill to both find the end zone in that late game. Brandon Aubrey will probably find the end zone in the he'll probably score more than anybody else in that game.
It's possible. I've got David Montgomery to find the end zone. I think this is a revenge game narrative for him. Definitely like the running back matchups. The Lions should lean on those guys pretty heavily today. I don't know if that's how that works, but I actually took CeeDee Lamb to find the end zone. It's been too long since he's been there. The amount of opportunities he's getting is so high. Eventually, as talented as he is, he's going to spring one for the end zone. I said, why not on Thanksgiving? And then I'm rolling it, Brant. I'm rolling the dice. I've got Tyreek Hill to find the end zone tonight. I'm expecting him to have one of his better games of the season. So I've got that. Those are my guys. All right. So the best part about Thanksgiving in my mind, who's your turkey leg winners for each one of these contests? We'll start with the Bears at Lions, and then I'll tell you mine after you say yours.
The Lions defense, I think, shut down the Bears, keep them out of the end zone. And I think that defense has one of the best weeks this week. I am choosing the Lions defense. I've tried to figure out just one player, but I think that defense as a whole balls out against Chicago.
Hey, I don't hate that. If I had to pick one player on that defense, it's Brian Branch. I like him an awful lot. I actually have the Lions to win that contest as well. I've got Jared Goff as the turkey leg recipient. It would make a lot of sense for it to be David Montgomery as well, but I've got Goff. Giants Cowboys.
So originally I did this thinking Tommy DeVito was out, and I put no biased opinion or anything else, no former Seahawks playing in this game or anything. I may or may not have put, I think Drew Lock leads the Giants to beat Dallas if he ends up starting this game, and I think it's on his shoulder, and I think him and Neighbors develop a connection pretty quick in that game, and I think Drew Lock is if he starts this game. But now that the rumblings are coming of Tommy DeVito, I don't know.
I have Micah Parsons as the turkey leg recipient here. I think you see a forced fumble, a strip sack, potentially 2 or 3 quarterback pressures. I think he makes an impact, lets his presence be known today. I feel bad for whoever's under center for New York because Parsons is going to be eating their lunch all game. So that's my guy for this one. That's how exciting I'm banking on this game being as well. I've got a defensive player there. All right, and then the last game of the night, Dolphins at Packers. Who do you got, Brant?
I put Love. I expect Love to have a phenomenal game this week. I know he's missing Dobbs, but I expect Love to have a great game this week.
I also have Jordan Love to be the recipient there, so we're copacetic there. All right, let me ask you this: the questions that really matter today, Brant. Hit me with your most overrated and your most underrated Thanksgiving dishes.
Overrated is still the turkey, in my opinion.
Okay.
I also don't eat turkey, so underrated. I gotta go with the yams, the sweet potatoes. I think those are underrated. Those are one of my favorites. You get the marshmallows on top of it. What's not to like? So I think I go with that. I think I go with those.
Yeah. So for me, I will say that I think the overrated is green bean casserole. That's disgusting. I don't know why people waste their space on their plate eating green bean casserole. We got to do better. That's just unacceptable. And then as far as I like green beans, honestly. And then as far as underrated, I feel like it's a controversial Thanksgiving Day dish. I don't think everybody has it. But I want to say it, mac and cheese, but for me, it's got to be the deviled eggs because I could literally just fill my plate with deviled eggs and go sit back down and be a happy fella. So I'll say the most underrated is deviled eggs, Brant. I will also say you will not catch me this Thanksgiving talking badly about the turkey because my wife put me in charge of purchasing said turkey this year, and I bought a $90 turkey. So hopefully it's the best turkey I've ever had. Otherwise, I may never live this down. So we're gonna hope that the turkey is really good this year.
I'd offer to bring you some smoked ham, but I won't see you again until Monday, and that's not making it all weekend.
Yeah, we got some. My dad's bringing some smoked ham too, so I should be all right on that.
But back to deviled eggs before we get into this. The deviled eggs. I love my mama to death. Why do we always put her in charge of them? Because she's always the last one here. So the deviled eggs don't even show up for me to start picking at while everything else is cooking. I hate it. I need somebody else in charge of those for every Thanksgiving.
There you go. Super C&B Challenges says, yo, Pitts, Disley, Laporta, Ertz, or Andrews this week in PPR, Brant?
Well, I can promise you I'm not planting my flag on Andrews. I think I go with Disley here.
It feels an awful lot like Will Disley. I was just sitting here thinking in my head, you and I are going to pick and agree on the same one because I kind of figured it'd be Disley, and two of these other ones are going to have monster weeks this week. I could see Laporta finding the end zone. I could see Pitts coming off of a bye week finding the end zone. Doesn't change anything for me. I'm rolling with Disley as well.
Absolutely.
All right. So we're wrapping it up here. I know you and I both are getting off. We got family things to go attend to here. So I want to say from my half of it, and then I'll give it over to you. I hope you and yours have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody out there. Hopefully everybody's turkey's moist. They have good football on TV, stretchy pants on their waist. I'm rooting for just a good week for everybody. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. We had one question roll in before
I'll put it in. I'll put it on there after you say your piece. We'll get
happy Thanksgiving to everybody that joined us every week. We appreciate the support. We are extremely thankful for you guys to allow us to do this, allow two fat guys to get up on Sunday morning and not just have to mope around all morning waiting for football. We are very thankful for you guys. And I hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. I hope the Dallas Cowboys lose. I hope the Chicago Bears lose. And I hope the Green Bay Packers lose. Just because, but Chicago, because it's always fun to listen to them all mope around Illinois when they lose.
Hey, and listen, we will be back this Sunday. If you have some bad plays this week and need to make up ground, Sunday, come see us. We'll be here Sunday, same time frame. So let's get to Bryce's quick questions here. First one, he says, happy Thanksgiving, fellas. And then he says, Jaden Reed or Judy, Brant? Just give him quick answers. Let's get us out of here.
I have to go with Reed. I don't like that matchup against Denver. I have to go with Reed.
Okay, I agree. I'm going Reed on that one. And then he follows it up with DJ Moore or Aaron Jones.
I'm going to go with Aaron Jones here.
Yep, Aaron Jones as well. All right, guys, that does it for us this week. Enjoy your food, enjoy your football. We'll see you Sunday.
As always, stay hungry.
Stay fat, my friend.